Okay, we're starting. Everybody hear that?
When I say continue, do I have to push continue or no?
Luke will.
Oh, because it's my
Continue.
screen says this meeting is being recorded. Continue. Do I hit continue?
Okay,
Oh,
press
yeah,
continue.
yeah. There we go. All right. And I'm going to mute myself and turn off my screen, but I'll be here Big Brother style. And if you need anything, just
I can't find my
shout.
screen.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you just shout. Yep.
Yeah, just give me a
I
shout.
feel
I'll help
like
you out.
I'm not really techie, so this
No,
might
that's
cut out a
okay.
couple times.
All right, so yeah, I would give it another minute or so while
Okay.
people trickle in,
Okay.
and
Great.
we'll go from there.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank
You're
you.
the best. You're the
Thanks
best.
for doing this, Lee.
Yeah.
You guys get to see a great picture of our school. Look
I
at our
like it.
awesome playground. Isn't it cool?
It looks fun.
Yeah. I think we have a couple more. I'll start it. Okay. I think I'll start it, Sarah.
Great.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our fourth parent partnership series, right, Sarah? It's number 4. This is super exciting. Coming to you from Wheeling, West Virginia, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I am Teresa Kalchek, director of the Center for Multisensory Learning at Wheeling Country Day School. Sarah and I have come together and said, let's share some of our experiences with you that we do in school and with our children. And let's share what authors have to say. Let's just share what we do for kids when we help these little ones become readers. Sarah, go ahead and introduce our speaker for today. I'm so excited.
I'm Sarah Sora. I am the director of the Dyslexia Center and Learning Lab at the Carlo Campus School. And I could not be more excited and proud to present or to give you our presenter today, who is Lee Sullivan. She is our kindergarten teacher extraordinaire. Lee has also just finished her the certificate program for dyslexia at Carlo University, which is an unbelievable program that really gives so much knowledge about assessments and how to work with kiddos with dyslexia and other learning disabilities. So Lee just came fresh out of the classroom. She ran from her kindergarten classroom where she does all of this amazing work that she is going to share with you today, and ran across the hallway to the center.
I give her credit. I give her credit.
So Lee Sullivan, here you go.
Okay. Well, I'm honored that these ladies even asked me to present. It was just about 5 years ago when I entered the master's program at Carlo that I started really learning about all this stuff that Teresa and Sarah have been doing for years. And I can't believe I didn't know as a classroom teacher all the things that I'm learning about and what we should be doing in the classroom to help these kids. So in the past 2 years, I've been taking classes with Teresa and through Carlo, and we have been incorporating all kinds of cool things into the classroom. And I have just seen such a difference in the way my kids are learning, the way I'm teaching, and even like with my struggling readers, they're coming along. And the things that we're doing in the classroom not only are good for just the strugglers, but for all the kids. Even my strong readers are becoming even stronger. And I wish as a parent that I wish I would have known some of this, because these are easy, fun little 10-minute things you can do at home with your kids to build that foundation for reading and really make them better readers and stronger readers. So I hope that today I'm going to kind of explain a few things to you and that these ladies taught me. So they can jump in at any time because they are truly the experts. I am the novice. I'm learning everything. I'm just the one in the classroom that's incorporating it. But they have really, both of them have taught me so much. So I'm hoping they'll chime in if they, see something that they need to say or whatever. So, but hopefully today I'll show you a few things and just some fun games that you can do at home with your kids in the car or on the way to soccer or whatever things we do in the classroom. If we're doing it in the classroom and you're doing it at home, that's just double the practice, and those kids are just going to be stronger in those foundational skills.
Yeah.
And also, I am not the most techiest person in the world. I don't even know if that's a word, but so bear with me if there's some glitches in the PowerPoint. So we'll just see how it goes. All right, so I'm going to share my PowerPoint with you, I hope. Wait, let's see, share screen, right? Okay. All right, can you ladies see that? Yes? Okay. All right, so I just kind of titled this, well, Sarah actually came up with Fun with Phonology, phonological awareness and phonemic awareness, and what's the buzz all about? And even though this has been around for years, it seems like it's just getting into the schools now. Like I've been teaching for a while, and I'm just within the last 5 years, 6 years, have been really diving into this and learning about this. So that's kind of how I titled it. Uh-oh. All right, now how can I not advance this? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so like they said, my real name is Elizabeth Sullivan, but everyone calls me Lee. And I am the kindergarten teacher at Carlo Laboratory School. And my journey with this whole science of reading and phonological awareness began about 5 years ago when I started taking the graduate classes at Carlo. And then I also went through and got my dyslexia certificate, which was where I met Teresa, and just everything started opening up for me as a teacher, learning how to teach these kids, and especially with the struggling readers, what to do to actually assess them and help them to build that foundation. And like I said, I am learning every single day. I feel that I'm a novice, and I'm learning every single day, just like everybody out there. So our goals for the presentation today, explain to you what phonological awareness is and what phonemic awareness is. Those are kind of like the buzzwords, and a lot of people don't really understand, including myself, what they really meant. I would use those words, but I truly didn't understand them, or I would interchange them. So hopefully today you'll walk away with an understanding of what phonological awareness is and what phonemic awareness is. And then we're also going to identify some of the different levels of phonological awareness, because kiddos are learning different things at different levels. So depending on how old your child is. And then the third thing is give you some fun games and activities to do at home with your children that involve phonological awareness. And in my journey, three things I have learned to be better. The first thing, number one, I didn't even realize that phonological awareness is the most potent predictor of success in learning to read. I mean, we've always done like rhyming activities or first sound fluency, different things like that, but I didn't really know that phonological awareness is a huge success indicator. So I'm really doing a lot more of that in my classroom. And as a parent, I wish I would have known that, because I would have done more of this when my kids were little in preschool, just to build that before they got to school. The second thing I learned through my journey is our brains are not wired to read. I didn't know that. When we are born, we're not born to read, we're born to speak. So as teachers and parents, we need to build those reading pathways. Some kids build them quicker than others. Our struggling readers are the ones that we really need to work on these skills with, because then we can build those pathways that aren't building as quickly as they need to be. And the third thing, and this can be with anything, the better if you know better, you do better. The more you know, the better you do. So you do better when you know better. I now know better, so I'm doing better in my classroom as a teacher. And if parents know better, they can use this to do better as parents at home to help their children. And this I just found is a really cool short video. It's like 2 minutes on how the brain works. And once you understand how the brain works, then you can actually teach your children to read. And this is something like when I went to school, as teachers, we weren't taught what parts of the brain do you need for reading? And if those pathways aren't being made, what do you do to strengthen them? So I'll just show this. It kind of is a good explanation. Hopefully it works.
How does the reading brain work? Reading is a complex process. It requires different areas of the brain to be activated in a coordinated and synchronized way, just like an orchestra, to maximize our ability to decode written text. The temporal lobe, located towards the lower back of the brain, is the area of the brain responsible for discriminating speech sounds. Misperception of the smallest part of speech, a phoneme, can completely change the meaning of a word or sentence. Listen to fair and ver in the words fan and van. The consonant part of these syllables is heard for only a fraction of a second at the onset of the words. But misperception of this swift sound can have huge implications when listening to instructions and information. Children who have problems differentiating speech sounds at the phonemic level will struggle with phonological awareness and with decoding words. The frontal lobe, located at the front of the brain with the left and right half, is involved in many functions, such as movement, decision-making, problem-solving, planning, and memory. The left half is language-related and is responsible for speech production, reading fluency, grammatical usage, and comprehension of grammar. Children with grammatical comprehension problems also have difficulty with prefixes, suffixes, and complex grammatical sentences. The angular gyrus, situated at the core of the brain, near the back and top side of the temporal lobe, functions as a reading integrator. It is the hub that helps us convert visual input to audio output. If this part of the brain is not well developed, the child may not be able to relate the letters S-A-T to the word set, even though he might have used that word many times. These brain areas do not work in isolation. They act as parts of the brain's network. When you strengthen one area, it improves the entire network. Conversely, if you do not use an area, it weakens and falls into disrepair, just like an abandoned building.
So I thought that was kind of neat, just as teachers and parents, like you're really working on building your child's reading brain. So that's an important thing. And as a teacher, I never thought about that. You were actually building those pathways. And all of this kind of came about, and again, it's been around for a while. In 1997, the National Institute and the Education Department came up with the Big Five, and phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. Those are the big five ideas that all reading instruction should have, and your child and children need to be fluent in all of those to be a good reader. So with me in kindergarten, I'm living in number 1 and number 2 for now. We're building that phonemic awareness and those phonics skills and those phonological awareness skills. And I thought it just kind of explains each one, but phonemic awareness is the ability to hear, manipulate the sounds in words. And before a child can effectively learn to read print, they need to understand that words are made up of the speech sounds and how they're broken apart and put back together. So that's kind of like part of phonological awareness. That's that first step. They need to understand those speech sounds first. So that's kind of what we're working on and what this workshop is going to explain. All right, and phonological awareness, this is kind of a neat visual, and it really helped me kind of understand what was involved. So the term phonological awareness is kind of the umbrella term. And under that, there's all these different raindrops, all these different sections. So under phonological awareness, you have words in the sense, like if you're counting the words, I like the apple. Onset and rhyme, where you have the first part, like if you have the word bat and you have b, and act. The onset is the first part, and then the rhyme is the second. Syllables, breaking words into like apple, rhyme and alliteration. And then you have phonemic awareness. Now, underneath phonemic awareness, there's also some raindrops. So phonemic awareness goes into the smallest speech sounds, the phonemes, isolating those speech sounds, blending them, adding, deleting, or substituting. And we work on a lot of this in kindergarten. And this is something before I learned this, I didn't spend a lot of time on this manipulation. And I'll show you some things later on, some games and things that you can do literally 5 minutes in the car with your kids on the way to school, back to school, that strengthens this, that will help them build that foundation. So we're just going to break up what is phonological awareness and what is phonemic awareness. So phonological awareness is the ability to hear and manipulate units of sound. For an example, if you have the word apple and you're able to break it into app and pull, the 2 syllables, that's phonological awareness. And the following down in the bottom are units of sound within a word, and they're organized from the largest to the smallest. So you have rhyming words, alliteration, that means like they all begin with the same sound, like big brown bears bring berries. Syllables, where you're breaking it into like apple, onset, and rhyme. And then the smallest part of that is the phonemes, each individual speech sound, like k, t. So phonological awareness encompasses all of that. And then phonemic awareness is just when you're dealing with those individual sounds. And the other thing that I didn't always practice in the classroom, which I wish I had known, is manipulating. So this just helps us understand what is manipulating the sounds. So the first part would be blending those individual sounds. So if you have the word dog and you can blend d, a, g, dog, you blend them together. Or segmenting them, that comes into spelling. So if you have the word dog and the child can pull those apart and go d, that's a d, a, g. Adding sounds. So if you have dog and you add s to the end, you have dogs. Or deleting, if you have dog without d, you have og. And then substituting. If you have dog, change d to f, and you get fog. So these are quick little drills. I do these every day in kindergarten. They're fast, they're quick, and they are getting so good. Today we were working with deleting and substituting the N sounds, which is hard. And they were so proud of themselves. Every day we've been doing it and they are like, we did it, we did it. I'm like, you're getting better. So they can see in themselves, they're proud of themselves for getting these tough skills. So it's really amazing to see. And then again, here's just some other examples. This is like syllables. So if you have rainbow and you can do rain and bow, you're pulling those syllables apart. Or if you have pencil without s, you have pen. Isolating, if you can say, what's the first sound in cup? Or if you have ch and in, put it together, chin. Or matching beginning sounds like, lap, ladder, all start with ul. That's all phonological awareness, being either to hear those units or those individual sounds. So phonemic awareness is the ability to hear and manipulate the smallest unit of sound. So the smallest unit of sound in the English language is called a phoneme. And then even though there are 43 phonemes in the English language and we only have 26 letters, so that's kind of confusing. But with phonological awareness, it's all auditory and oral. So we're not really even getting into those symbols. So it's just kind of what you're hearing. I know that can be kind of confusing, but there's like the digraphs and all those other sounds of vowel teams that go into those phonemes. And then just some examples of phonemic awareness. So if you're able to hear the k, a, t in cat, each of those sounds, or if you can hear the sh, a, k in shack, pulling those individual speech sounds apart and being able to manipulate them. And these two posters really helped me truly understand the difference between phonological awareness and phonemic awareness. And the first one is the house. And again, they have the light bulb because literally you could do it with the lights out. There's no visual, it's auditory and oral. So all of these areas are part of phonological awareness. And the bottom, the biggest room being individually manipulating those individual sounds, but they all fall under phonological awareness. And then the hourglass from Carol Tolman, who this is becoming a big symbol everywhere, but you can see the orange is the phonological awareness. And here are some of the skills in early, basic, and advanced. So the younger ones, preschool, kindergarten, syllables, alliteration, onset, and rhyme. And then my kiddos in kindergarten, we're getting into, blending and segmenting, and the substitute in kindergarten. And then the blue part, again, that's when you're starting to get into the visual with the letters, the orthographic. So we're just dealing with the orange in phonological awareness. And then this is a great slide that Sarah actually showed with me from David Kilpatrick. And it just, again, shows the levels and kind of, how they grow and where your child might be. The early areas, we're doing a rhyming, alliteration, syllable segmentation, first sound identification. Then we move into the blending the individual sounds together, segmenting, isolating them. And you can either get into the manipulating the middle sound. If you have mat, change the a to it and get mit. And then the advanced, the hardest is when you're deleting, adding, and substituting those sounds in and out. And again, my kindergartners are getting really good at doing that, and they're proud of themselves. All right, so I just have two really short videos here. The first one is from an instructor for Heggerty. Heggerty is a curriculum that we use that deals with that phonological awareness, and it's just 10 skills really quickly. And she does a great job of kind of explaining it as if she's talking to teachers, but parents, you are your child's teacher as well. So I thought this would be beneficial to kind of have you watch, because if you're doing some of these with your children, you can see how the teacher or the parent would manipulate their hands and use some of the visuals. And then the second one is actually a kindergarten teacher going through some of those skills in her classroom. So we'll kind of take a look at these very quickly here.
As you begin to implement the phonemic awareness lessons in your classroom, I want to share a little bit of information with you about what this can look like in your literacy block. Let's start by defining what is phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is an understanding that spoken words are made up of individual sounds called phonemes. A child who is phonemically aware can isolate these sounds, they can blend sounds together to make a word, they can segment a word into individual sounds, and they can manipulate sounds through substituting and deleting activities. Phonemic awareness is oral and auditory. As you implement the lessons into your classroom, the words that you see within the lesson plans will not be shown in print. The activities will be spoken aloud by you as the teacher, and the students will be responding as well. Phonemic awareness is different than phonics. It is not phonics. The National Reading Panel defined phonemic awareness and phonics as two different, but both essential components in our literacy instruction. So as you work with the lessons this school year, you will be going through 10 phonemic awareness skills each and every day. As you work through the daily activities, you're providing your students with explicit instruction in sounds. Now, often teachers ask, why is phonemic awareness important? Marilyn Adams said that the lack of phonemic awareness is the most powerful determinant in the likelihood of failure to read. If our students aren't aware of the sounds they hear in words, they will struggle to be able to decode words in print when they want to read them and encode words in print when they write. We know that phonemic awareness is a foundational skill for students as they develop as readers. Dr. David Kilpatrick said that every point in a child's development of word-level reading is substantially affected by phonological awareness, from learning letter names and sounds all the way up to adding new multisyllabic words to our sight vocabulary. So as we implement these daily phonemic awareness lessons into your literacy block, you are providing your students with explicit instruction in sounds. Now, the lessons are meant to be taught every single day. Within your manual, you will see lessons for every day of the week, Monday through Friday. As you walk through your lessons, you'll be working with 8 to 10 skills each and every day, depending on the level of the curriculum that you are using. We have curriculum available for pre-K, kindergarten, and primary classrooms in English, as well as curriculum available for pre-K, kindergarten, and primary curriculums in Spanish. The lesson components that are a part of the daily lessons incorporate 8 essential phonemic awareness skills, as well as skills to teach letter name and sound fluency through letter naming, as well as language awareness. In our English curriculum, we incorporate these 8 skills every single day through fast-paced and fun activities that engage our students in their learning. The components of an English lesson include rhyming, where students are working to hear words that rhyme, recognize words that rhyme, as well as produce words that rhyme. We also work with onset fluency, where students are isolating the initial sound they hear in a word. Students are also blending sounds together to make words, working with larger units of language, like compound words and syllables, until they start to work with blending individual phonemes into words. Students are also identifying the final or the medial sound in a word through final and medial sound activities. We also ask our students to segment a word into sounds, that they would hear a word and be able to segment it into individual words of a compound words, syllables, onset rhyme, or phonemes. 3 of our most difficult skills are substituting, adding, and deleting. We ask our students to be able to manipulate phonemes or sounds in words in order to be an automatic decoder of print. Now, we also incorporate 2 additional activities. Letter naming is included as a way to introduce students to letter names along with the sounds that they make. We know that phonemic awareness and alphabet recognition are 2 predictors of reading success. And for that reason, we incorporate daily opportunities for letter naming within the curriculum so that students have daily practice with letter names along with their sounds. Letter naming is one of the only parts of the lessons where you will put print in front of your students. You may show your students flashcards with letters on them so they can see the letter name and then be able to say the name and the sound that it makes. You may use flashcards or an alphabet chart for this activity. We also incorporate an activity called language awareness. In our pre-K and our kindergarten curriculum, the students are learning nursery rhymes. They're starting to recite and sing and say nursery rhymes throughout the course of the school year. And in our primary curriculum, students are repeating sentences back. We would not write the sentences out for students. Instead, they would be hearing words in the sentence and counting the number of words, orally listening to develop this idea of concept of word. Now, all of those skills are taught each and every day throughout all 35 weeks of the curriculum. It is intended that you would use the lessons on a daily basis to provide these skills for your students. Now, we also offer a Spanish curriculum for our pre-K, kindergarten, and primary classrooms. Some of the skills are similar to our English curriculum, but some of them differ as well. In our pre-K and kindergarten Spanish curricula, we focus on syllables when working with the skills of blending and segmenting, substituting, adding, and deleting. We also incorporate activities for rhyming, onset fluency, and isolating the initial and final sound in a word. In our primary Spanish curriculum, we work with blending and segmenting at the phoneme level. This is in order to prepare our students to transfer from their native language of blending and segmenting sounds as they start to work with blending and segmenting sounds in their second language of English. We work with some of those same skills, rhyming, onset fluency, isolating the initial and final syllables, as well as focusing on medial syllables, and then substituting, adding, and deleting, in addition to letter naming and language awareness. Explicitly teaching the Heggerty phonemic awareness lessons in your school day each and every day provides your students with those foundational skills they need to become a reader.
And then this is a teacher actually going through one of those lessons that we do. And again, you could do this in your car, on the way to soccer, on the way home. It's quick, it's easy, it's fast.
If the word rhymes, give me a quiet thumb up. If the word doesn't rhyme, give me a quiet thumb down right in front. Are you ready? Play, stay.
Play, stay.
Yep, that rhymes. Ready? Chair, me.
Chair, me.
That's it. Okay. Wet net.
Wet net.
All right, beginning sounds. Ready? Say me.
Me.
Beginning sound? Good. Say pale.
Pale.
Beginning sound?
Pop.
Good job. Say name. Beginning sound? Say top. Beginning sound? All right. Let's blend sounds together to make a word. Ready? B, E. S, E. F, E. K, E. M, E. Good job, everybody. All right. We're going to roller coaster some words to find the middle sound. Are you ready? Can. Ready? K. Middle sound? Good job. Net. Middle sound? Jump. J. Middle sound? I heard it over there. Good job. I'm going to say a word. You're going to take it apart. You give me the first sound and then the rest of it. Ready? No. No. Low. Good. Go. Let's hear. Go. So. Good job. Say A. Put D at the beginning. Day. Say oo. Put T at the beginning. Good. Say I. P at the beginning. Say pay. Take off P. Good job. B. Take off B. Good. Say hi. Take off I. You say B. Okay, take off the B and change it to S. Oh, you did well. Good job. Say C. Take off the S and make it a N. Take off. Okay, so it was C. Take off S and make it N. Me. Good job. Say me. Take off M and make it F. Fee. Very good. Say fee. Take off F and make it B. B. Very good. A.
Okay, so
Examples, Lee. Those were
Right.
fantastic.
well, and you can, I just want everyone to see it's so simple.
Yes.
Like literally, you can be going in the car and be like, say B, change book to T, and or whatever, I mean, it's just so simple to do. Put two
Right.
syllables together, very easy. And again, this was just some of the things that she did on the video. So I'm going to keep going. All right. So the last half of the presentation is just some games and ideas that you can do at home in the different areas. So first we start with rhyming. So this one, it says to use a poem or chant in ways that enhance the child awareness of sound patterns. So you can introduce a new poem or a chant or a nursery rhyme and read it line by line and have the kids repeat the line. And then we do it again and they love this. You whisper only the rhymes. So I'll just do, I think I have one over here. We'll just do like Jack and Jill. So maybe Sarah or Teresa, you could be my echo.
Sure.
For this. All right, so I'll say it and then I have the kids repeat it. And the first time we go through it and we just listen for rhymes. So I'll say it and then you would repeat. So I would just say Jack and Jill
Jack and Jill
went up the hill
went up the hill
to fetch a pail of water.
to fetch a pail of water.
Jack fell down
Jack fell down
and broke his crown,
and broke his crown,
and Jill came tumbling after.
and Jill came tumbling after.
And then we talk about the rhymes. Did anyone hear the rhymes? And hopefully they would say, Jill and hill, and they would say crown and down. So then we would say it again and we whisper and we only say the rhymes. So this took them a while to catch on, but they love it. I mean, it's so easy, but let's see if I can do it. But we would go, Jack and Jill, and then you'd read,
Jack and Jill
went up the hill
hill
to fetch a pail of water.
to fetch a pail of water.
Jack fell down
Jack fell down
and broke his crown,
and broke his crown,
and Jill came tumbling after.
and Jill came tumbling after.
I know it sounds weird, but I tell you, the kids love it. And once they catch on to those rhymes, I mean, I make mistakes and they're like, wait, that wasn't a right, I'll say it out loud and they love it. So again, like in the car, like 1 minute and done. And another one, number 2, is just rhyme stories. So teach them to predict the rhymes. And again, people have probably done this. You just get a familiar book, like I have, Green Eggs and Ham, and then you start reading it. And again, they've heard it, so they kind of know, and you would just say, you'd let them predict the rhyme. I do, I would not eat them, could not in a tree, not in a car, you let me, and they have to fill in B. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a box. I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a
Mouth.
So they're predicting that, they're hearing that, easy. So fun, they love it. And then this one, again, you can make up your own. This was some of the ones I think in the Hegarty, or another one I have, Keely gave me this one. If you're out there, Keely, I use it all the time. But it's just, you would say just you can make them up. You don't have to have them written down, like a cat wearing a hat, a mouse that lives in a
House.
a pig that dances a
Jig.
a bee that's in the
Tree.
whatever. You can make up their favorite animals, super easy, super fun. They love it. We do that all the time. And this is another one in the Hegarty that they love. It's the categories. I think I have this one marked. And again, I never thought of this. It's so easy. I wish I had as a parent, because I would have used this all the time. But what you do is you pick a category. It could be anything. And these are just kind of the ones in the book. Like the one I have here is color. So the teacher or the parent says, my color is bed. And the kids go, not bed, it's red. And then the teacher or parent say, my color is lean. And they're like, not lean, it's green. So you give them the nonsense word and they have to come up with it. We did numbers, we did things we eat, parts of your body, things we have in our room. If your kid is into car, you could pick the category and just make up the nonsense word and have them rhyme. It's super easy on the way to soccer. They love it. And then this one we actually just did today. The ship is loaded. My kids they love this one. You can toss a beanbag, or we just kind of do a beat on the floor. And whoever the captain is, they say, the ship is loaded, the ship is loaded, the ship is loaded with cheese. And then the kids have to have a rhyme. So the next kid would say, the ship is loaded with bees. And the next kid would say, the ship is loaded with trees. The ship is loaded with fleas. And then we keep going a while, and then I'll do another rhyme. The ship is loaded, the ship is loaded, the ship is loaded with bats. The next person would be, the ship is loaded with cats. It's a fast pace, and they love it. And then the kids can actually be the ship captain after they get it. We have a little pirate hat, and they wear it's the whole thing, but they do love that. Again, in the car, the child could be the captain. You could be the person that gives the rhyme, but it's easy, fun. Syllables. We do a lot of clapping games through our morning meeting in school. And again, you can just, like, we do the name game. So at the beginning of the year, we have all our kids' sticks, and we'll pick, a stick, and we, say your name, and when you do, we will chant it back to you. So the person will say Olivia, and then we always check it with our chin. Olivia. We clap it. Olivia, and we tap it. Olivia. And then we say how many, and then it's kind of math too. We then tally it. Okay, this goes in the 3 pile, the 4 pile, or whatever. And then we would do, say your name, and when you do, we will say it back to you. And they would say Henry. Again, we check it. Henry, Henry, Henry. And at the end, we see how many 1-syllable words, 2-syllable words, 3-syllable words. So easy. You could do it at a party with your family, whatever.
What a way to keep them engaged, Lee.
Oh yeah.
They're so engaged.
And with math too. They're counting their syllables. That's the whole, the whole
They
thing.
are engaged. I hear them across the hallway all day.
Yeah, Sarah.
And I love it so much.
And then this is to take one thing from a box, or you can do it pictures. If you have your child can go and grab 10 things from around the house and put them in a box, and you pull them out and say, okay, let's count the syllables. We do at school, we do pictures. So they get to pick a picture, and then we say, right, say your word ladder, right, check it, ladder. Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? And then we line them up. So again, you can use pictures, you can have the kids go pick it. It could be as you're driving through town, finding things outside. What do you say? Oh, building, all right, let's check it. How much is that? Garbage truck, whatever. It could be anything, but super fast, super easy building those skills. And then this one too, we just started doing this. If you have a little one that, you know, they like to move. So it's the king and queen successor, and you're doing motions to the syllables. Okay, you got to have a crown too. Put your crown on, they get a turn. But you say, whoever the king or the queen is puts the crown on, and they say, you know, I am the queen and I issue, my order is marching. So you get up and you have to, it's 2 syllables. So you would go marching, marching, marching. So you're doing the motion to the syllables. Or you say, I'm the queen or king and my order is sewing. So you would go sewing, sewing, sewing. Or you could do like roller skating, rollers, you know, it could be anything. Hammering, hammering. So you're getting that whole, the voice, the whole multisensory, the body, everything working together. But they love it. It gets them up and moving. Again, you could do it anywhere. Super easy. Initial sounds. So this, again, I kind of do this at the beginning of the year. We'll have all their sticks. And it teaches them isolating that first sound. And I'll say, guess whose name I'm going to say? And I'll be like, d, 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 d. And then they would guess Daniel. Guess whose name I'm going to say? Fiona. And again, it also works on those stop sounds like d, 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 or those continuous sounds like f. So again, you could do it with objects. You could gather some objects and have them on the floor, and you say, I'm going to say the object that starts with p, 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 p. You know, pen, you know, have them pick it up. I'm thinking of something. Oh, this is kind of a fun one. You can have pictures in the bag and you give them clues. So you would say, I'm thinking of something. Ooh, let me find a good picture. Oh, that starts, and you always give them that first sound. I am thinking of something that starts with and then you give them another clue. I am thinking of something that starts with and has a handle. I am thinking of something that starts with and has a handle, and it's used to put leaves in a pile, and maybe they'll guess rake. So you're just, you know, getting that first sound into the guessing game. And then pull that sound. The teacher did something like that with the Haggerty. You would give students words, you know, like pig, park, first sound, and we always pull it down. You give like ladder, like, first sound, wool. So just easy, simple 1-minute drills you can do anywhere. Alliteration. So that's when you hear that first sound over and over and over again. And just like rhyming stories, they like this too. To introduce a letter, we do alliteration. So one is like, big brown bear brings blueberries. Big brown bear brings bubbles. And see if they can just guess, what sound am I hearing? B, 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 b. And then they can try to think of something after you model a few and do a few together. Big brown bears bring cheese. No, he doesn't bring cheese. Big brown bear brings pens. No. Big brown bear brings brownies. Yeah. And then have them have a turn. And I do have a video, but I don't know if I should show it. I think I'm going to keep going. And at the end, if we have time, we can come back. But it's just a teacher doing this, and it's so funny. I love it. And then this other one is called Tally the Sound. So again, you can just get any kind of, I have a cool book that has all kinds of different poems in it. And we do this when we're doing our letters. And if they have learned tally marking, we just learned tally marking. So they were learning how to do tally marks in math. So everyone got their dry erase board and their marker. And every time they heard the sound, they had to put a tally. And so it's math again and phonemic awareness, but this was for letter H. So see if you can do it at home. See if you can tally the sounds. We'll see. So this is called My Hedgehog. So we are listening for the h sound. I named my hedgehog Honey Bunch and gave a happy hug. I have a hunch that Honey Bunch considered it too snug. So then you would just see how many if they got them, and then we could go back over it and check it. But again, Those kids that like a challenge, they'll be right in there tally marking and listening, and it really does, because they're really listening for that sound. So that's an easy, fun one too. Blending and segmenting. And we do a lot of this in school. And I know Teresa and Sarah, when they're having their kids come to their centers, they do a lot of this. But so easy, so simple. You can do it at home. You don't have to use chips. You can use beans, pennies, anything. You can draw the boxes on a piece of paper. It's so easy, but this is blending and segmenting. And these are they're called Elkening boxes. And you kind of push the object up into the sound. So this is a really quick, again, really good explanation of a super easy, fun activity.
We're going to show you how to do Tap It, Map It, Zap It, taken from Judy Dodson's 50 Nifty Activities. This activity develops and reinforces phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is crucial to reading development. It is the ability to attend to the speech sounds in the English language. Segmenting and blending sounds lays the foundations for phonics instruction. Phoneme means an individual speech sound. For example, the phonemes or sounds in the word dog are d, a, g. Phonemic awareness is about sounds, not print. In order to do the activity, you will need some sound boxes, chips or markers or candy, and then a magnetic wand to swipe the chips off. You can also use a home magnet. You will also need picture cards for the words. The first thing you'll do is draw a card. So the word is cat. Can you tap the sounds in cat?
At.
How many sounds in cat?
3 sounds.
So get a chip for each sound. Now let's map it. Say the sounds in cat and push a chip for each sound.
At.
Now zap it.
Cat.
Good job. Let's try another one.
Hat.
Tap the sounds in hat.
At. 3 sounds. At. Hat.
Good job. Keep in mind that some words will have less sounds than it has letters. And remember, we're just dealing with sounds, so we're only counting the sounds that we hear in the word. So let's try this one. The word is boat.
Boat. B-O-T. 3 sounds. B-O-T. Boat.
Good job. Let's try another one.
Shell. Sh-e-l.
3 sounds.
Sh-e-l. Shell.
Once students have mastered 3 sounds, you can try words with 4 or 5 sounds, like stamp.
Stamp. 5 sounds. Stamp.
And again, super easy, super fun. The kids love it. I do a lot of times when I pull my small groups, we'll work on that in a small group. Another one that we do for blending and segmenting, they love this one, super easy also. Sound sack, you just grab a bag, put some pictures in it, and then I say the sounds. I said, your sounds are d, I, g. What's yours? Dig. And then they get the picture. Your sounds are b, ox. What's your word? Box. So then they're listening for the sounds and blending them together as opposed to segmenting the sounds. So those are super fun and super easy. Okay, let's see here. Uh-oh.
Lee, this would probably be a great place if anyone has any questions while you're looking. Does anyone have any questions for our expert today?
Well, learning person. I'm not an expert yet.
Well, you know what?
I'm still learning.
But like you said, you know what? You learn about phonological awareness. You learned that and you immediately took it to your classroom and you put it to practice. And I know that you practice it every single
Yep.
day. And Heggerty is, that program is just amazing. We use it as well in our kindergarten, our preschool, kindergarten, and first grade. And the key is to do it every day. And I know you have seen success even in your scores, you know,
Absolutely.
with your Dibble scores, because you told me that yourself.
Yep. And the cool thing is, once you understand what this is, you can come up with your own games.
Oh yeah.
Like
Right.
that's the thing. Like once you I could use, we could do this or that, or, you know, tailor it to your child's what they like and, or
Yeah.
the class. So it's really cool.
It is. But these are things that get you started, and then you become
Absolutely.
creative, because really what happens, it shifts to the child's creativity.
Mhm.
Then they love, what gets them super excited is making up their own nonsense words.
Yep.
And when it becomes nonsense, you're rhyming, and they love that. They absolutely love that.
And they know the difference. Like they'll be like, well, my word's
Sure.
going to be a nonsense word, or your word was a real word. So they're even learning the difference between what the nonsense and the real words are.
Very, very, very important. That's very important. Exactly.
And then the last part here, I don't know if anyone has any questions, but the last part here is just really quick on, you know, the adding, deleting, and substituting. That's kind of the last activities that we do. And like I said, I do these daily in my classroom. And this is just, you can do these at home super easy. These are just 1 minute. Do we have time? It just explains it in 1 minute, what
I think we have
adding
1
means.
minute for sure. Mhm.
And then that I'm pretty much going to wrap up, but I do this daily, and it's really has changed, like I said, the way my kids are learning, just these little things. But she does a better than me job of explaining with the hand motions and just real quick. And it's just, like I said, I think it's just like a minute.
Adding is a skill you will see in all 3 levels of the phonemic awareness curriculum. The hand motion that is indicated within the manual tells you as the teacher to show your word using your hands. When we are adding a word to make a compound word, we show the beginning of our word with our right hand, the end of a word with our left hand. So for example, if I said to students, my word is note, they would say note, add book, and we make the word notebook. We use the same hand motion when adding syllables. We can say to students, everyone say sun, and they would say sun, add E, and the word is sunny. When we add the initial or first sound to a word, as the teacher, you will show your left hand first because we are providing students with the end of the word. For example, I would say us, and the students would repeat us, add B to the beginning, and the word is bus. Or we can use it with another word, like saying to the students, everyone say ak. They would say ak, add s to the beginning, and the word is sock. The adding hand motion is meant to be a useful tool to help students manipulate these sounds in words.
And again, parents could do this super easy at home, just real quick, couple, you know, here and there. Let's see. And same thing with deleting. You're going to take that sound away.
Deleting is an advanced phonemic awareness skill that you will find in all 3 levels of the phonemic awareness curriculum. You will see a hand motion listed within your manual that you can use when teaching deleting to your students. We begin by deleting compound words. When we provide our students with the whole compound word, we will be deleting just one part of that word and saying what's left. If I show my students the word playground, I then can delete one part of the word and tell the students what's left. I would say to my students, playground. Without ground, the word is play. This same hand motion can be used when deleting the syllables from a word. We can say to our students, my word is taller. They would repeat the whole word taller. Without what's left is tall. We can delete the initial sound from a word as well, using this exact same hand motion. We can say to our students, everyone say nod. They would say nod. Without what's left is odd. The deleting hand motion is meant to be a useful tool to help students work with this advanced and complex phonemic awareness skill.
And then the last one, same thing as substituting. You're taking one sound off, putting a new one in.
Substituting is an advanced phonemic awareness skill and one of the most complex skills we teach to our students. You will see a hand motion for substituting listed within your curriculum manual. The hand motion uses two fists to represent the word, with my right fist being the beginning of the word, my left fist being the end. So I'd use my fist to show where I am changing part of a word. We begin substituting with compound words. When we're substituting a compound word, we are changing a whole word to make a new compound word. For example, if my compound word was airplane, I would show my students the word airplane. We could change plane to port and the word becomes airport. We use the same hand motion when we are substituting syllables. When we say to our students, my word is reading, they would say the whole word reading. We can change read to look, and the word is looking. This same hand motion can be used when we are substituting the initial or first sound in a word. We can say to students, my word is bee. They would repeat back the word bee, change b to s, and the word is see. They'd repeat the word see, they'd say see, change s to k, and the word is key. As we work with this substituting hand motion, it is meant to be a useful tool for students to see where we are changing the sounds in the words.
And then just real quick, if you're not like you want to make it up yourself kind of person, there are a lot of things you can buy, in the stores, Amazon or whatnot. These act just like the Elkin boxes. Your kid can drive the cars into the spaces. You could do dinosaurs into spaces. You could do, little figurines of cats or dogs into the spaces. The Spot It game, some of you might already have them, but you could have them spot beginning sounds, have them spot rhyming words. So many different things you could think of with the Spot It. And just like these little bean bags, again, you could sort all beginning sounds. You could break them into syllables or any of those things that we talked about. But those are a few games, and then a few more. This one also has, like, instead of the Alkanen boxes, you have the picture, the child would just point to the boxes, same thing. Rhyming picture games, some of you might even already have those at home. And this was kind of a new one, a neat one, the silly soup game. They have to create a soup, but they have to find a piece with the same beginning sound or the same rhymes or something like that. So again, all phonological awareness skills. And then some of the books that they had mentioned, these are all books that I have if you just want to learn more about it. And the 50 Nifty, the one video had that one, a lot of great activities. And then the ones that I'm using, I use this one a lot in my classroom. And then the other one by David Kilpatrick. And it has some great of those manipulating, adding, deleting activities right in the back. So if you're like, oh, I can't think of those on my own, this book has tons of them in the back, and advanced ones too. Like you're changing out the second letter back, for the older kids. So this is a really excellent resource as well. That I got through all my college classes from Teresa.
Oh my goodness. You know what it is? The reading specialist masters, the dyslexia certificate at Carlow University. You know what? We follow the science of reading, don't we, Lee?
Yep.
We follow the latest research, looking at reading success. It's all David Kilpatrick, who,
Yep.
you know what? It's just years and years of him uncovering that the importance for success in reading of any age, because you can have a child starting out that's, having some difficulty, but what happens that, if we don't intervene with phonological awareness and perfecting that gap is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that student, they're going to hit fourth grade and maybe hit a wall. Go to high school, be in high school and feel those struggles. So all of this that you have beautifully presented today, I mean, this was just superb.
It was. And I think too, like making understanding it needs to be explicitly taught. So Lee, in the beginning, you talked about, we do this, over the years, we've done rhyming and we read nursery rhymes, but teaching it explicitly, telling them what that first sound is, making them aware of segmenting and understanding those different parts of the umbrella is.
And they
such a
know the
big
terms. When I say
They
adding,
do.
deleting, and substituting, they know exactly what we're doing.
They
They know what it means.
do.
It's completely changed my whole way I teach.
Yeah.
And it's changed their
absolutely.
way of learning. And I see
Oh,
it
absolutely.
every day in your
Absolutely.
classroom.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely out there making a difference. And you know what, this is just an example today. You learned it and you immediately put it into practice. And that's what we want to do that's the whole reason for this parent partnership
Right.
series. We want to bring it to our parents and we want to continue with this. So, we're just, those of you that joined us today, we want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Spread the word, right? Ladies, spread the word and because we'll come together again in June and Lee, we're going to continue. We're going to do a second part of this for phonological awareness. And we're going to go visit some children and say, what are you doing this summer? And we're going to maybe play some games in a backyard, but we're going to do something fun. Yeah, Lee, thank you. Sarah and I are super excited for pulling you out of the classroom. Thank you for joining us, right, Sarah?
I got to go back.
Go ahead.
I know.
I hear him out there. I'm like, oh, I got to get
It's time to go, right? All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining
Thank you,
us.
Lee.
Yes, thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you,
day.
everybody.
Just as a quick reminder, we're going to have the recording of this up on our website here shortly, and we will send that out to all of our attendees. Or you can head to wcdsedu.com/partnership with parents. And we have all of the past recordings as well as any future ones as well.
And it'll be on Sarah, it'll be on your site as well.
Yes, it'll be on our site as well.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. That's good.
Wonderful.
One of the places. Absolutely.
All right, thanks
Thank you,
everyone.
Luke. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.